We hear the word leader thrown around all the time. But in a world full of bosses, what does it actually mean to be a true leader? Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut through all the noise and the buzzwords to get to the heart of what makes someone a genuine, impactful leader. Let's dive in. And right away, you can see the fundamental difference. On one side, you've got the boss. Their power comes from their job title, right? It's all about commanding and controlling. But a leader operates on a totally different wavelength. Their power isn't given, it's earned through genuine influence. So let's put a pin in it. What are we really talking about here? A true leader is someone who doesn't just bark orders. They empower people. They get everyone excited about a shared goal and use their influence to build momentum. And honestly, that's a force that's way more powerful than any top-down control. Okay, so how do you build that kind of influence? Where does it all start? Well, it turns out it all rests on one single, non-negotiable foundation. This is the quality that every other leadership trait we're going to talk about is built on. And that quality is integrity. Simple as that. It is the absolute core. Because without that honest, solid foundation, it doesn't matter how charismatic or strategic you are. Sooner or later, the whole thing just falls apart. Now, what's so powerful about this is that last part, even when no one is watching. That's the key. That consistency is what builds trust. And you got to understand, trust is the currency of leadership. It's what makes people want to follow you, not just feel like they have to.
All right, so we've got our foundation set with integrity. Now let's start building on it. We're going to look at the key qualities, the pillars, that stand on that foundation and create that powerful, positive influence.
So, here are the 5 big ones we're going to dive into. We'll start with empathy, which is all about connection. Then we'll move to vision, seeing what's possible. After that, courage, to actually make it happen. Then humility, to stay open and grounded. And finally, communication, which ties the whole thing together. Let's break them down. First up, empathy. And let's be really clear about this. This is not some fluffy, nice-to-have soft skill. It is a powerful, strategic tool that allows a leader to forge the kind of deep connections that truly fuel a team. When a leader has real empathy, they see their team as human beings, not just cogs in a machine. They actually try to understand what drives them, what they're struggling with. And because they understand, they can offer support that actually helps. That's how you build fierce loyalty. Next up, vision. Because if empathy connects you to your team right now, vision is what shows everyone where you're all going together. It's about seeing past today's problems to tomorrow's possibilities. And listen, vision isn't just a business plan or a 5-point strategy. It's about painting a picture of the what-ifs. A great leader can describe that future so clearly and compellingly that everyone else starts to see it too, and they get so excited they can't help but want to build it with you. But of course, a beautiful painting of the future is pretty useless if you don't have the courage to actually go and build it. This third pillar is what turns great ideas into real-world action, especially when things get tough. This is where the rubber really meets the road for a leader. It's not about playing it safe. It's about having the guts to make the hard calls, to stand by what you believe, and to lead the way even when the path ahead is a little foggy. All right, our 4th pillar. Now this one might be the most surprising, and you could argue it's one of the most powerful. It's humility. Just think about it for a second. Great leadership isn't about having all the answers or being perfect. It's about creating an environment where everyone can grow. A humble leader makes it safe for people to speak up, to challenge ideas, and even to fail, because they admit their own mistakes. They don't just tolerate other people's input, they genuinely value it. And that brings us to our final pillar, the one that really brings all the others to life, communication. But we're talking about way more than just being a good speaker. The best leaders know that communication is a two-way street. It's actually more about listening than it is about talking. They create a space for real dialogue, for genuine understanding. When they do speak, they convey their message in a way that doesn't just inform people, it inspires confidence. Okay, so we've got our foundation of integrity and our 5 pillars sitting on top. But how does all of this theory actually translate into day-to-day action? Well, it all comes down to consistent, observable behaviors. First off, real leaders lead by example. They walk the talk. Their actions and their words are in sync. And that authenticity is what builds that deep, unshakable respect. And second, they're adaptable. They don't see challenges as roadblocks. They see them as opportunities to innovate, to learn, and to come out stronger on the other side. Now, when you hear all this talk about vision and courage, you might be picturing a certain type of person, right? The bold, charismatic, life of the party extrovert. But it is so important that we rethink that stereotype.
This question right here is one that holds so many people back. Do you really have to be the most outspoken person, the loudest voice to be a leader? The answer is an absolute, definitive no.
And just to prove the point, let's look at a personality archetype that's often seen as quiet, the INFJ. Notice anything familiar here? Natural empathy, check. Intuitive foresight, that's just another word for vision, right? A powerful sense of purpose, that's the engine of integrity. It's all there. Their quiet nature isn't a weakness. It's actually the source of their profound strength. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. True, effective leadership isn't about trying to be someone you're not. It's about understanding your own unique, authentic gifts, whether it's deep empathy, quiet insight, or unwavering integrity, and learning how to use those gifts to guide and inspire others. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. As you reflect on the leaders who've made a difference in your life, or as you think about the kind of leader you want to be, which one of these qualities stands out to you as the most important? Your answer just might be the key to unlocking your own leadership journey.